recording. We are ready to go. So, to week 6. We're few in numbers today, maybe because people are in the clinch room waiting for nobody. I did jump on and be with us today. I wouldn't fit for me.
Be an event.
Me, Sherman, great
hey,
here with everybody.
Okay, bye. Are we on? No? Okay.
All right, so all right, we are weeks. We're nearly halfway finished. Flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? Great. How's it going so far with everybody? Okay, just okay. The assignments, got any concerns anybody has? Anything?
Me. I haven't given you a Google Doc on what I'm going to be doing for my final presentation. When do you want that?
We'll put that like on slide number 3.
Okay.
So we will mention that today. But yes, that's a great question. Thank you. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Here's slide for Clint's sake. He's here and we are not. We know today, and I hope you did too, just for fun. But here's the tech plan, tech project goals and plan. Fulfill part 2 of your actual project, which is due on 11th. Your plan needs to be submitted by March and in week 8. So we got a couple of weeks still to get that together. Some have met personally with me and went on the Canada and you just put the DUMAT and kind of what we talked about. It's fine to do that for that assignment purpose, but for the actual technology plan, part 2, you'll need to create your write-up. So once you do your write-up and submit that, your assignment for the week 8, this goal planning part, you can do that, or you can just submit it your final as part 2 of your project. Makes any sense? So what you want in this is kind of your overall goals with technology integration, how you foresee that happening in your class and in your subject, and what you want to do overall, how you think what's learning in this class and other classes through the EdTech endorsement program in your courses, in what you're doing, what you're teaching. And then what technology you like to integrate or learn to use better. Maybe something that you may not be able to fit in, or you may not know how to use a certain tool, but you would like to. Talk about it also as part of your plan. So just kind of thinking more about technology and what's available and to enhance your unit you're teaching. So if you met with me personally and you just put down a date that we met, that's great to do that for the assignment portion. We're going to create a write-up for the actual project for the end of the course. So that's your question. March 7th. That's the due date for that. All right. So the assignments for this week, really quickly. The text starts out with a question: how can I use technology to help students practice and deepen their understanding of new knowledge? And the focus of the assignments this week, kind of question. You will read chapter 5 in the text. The elements 14 through 20, which will be part of those today. And then last week we did 13, 14, and 15 elements. So you can go back to last week and review those element reviews if you'd like to. The simple reading, the HyperDoc handbook. If you're not familiar with HyperDocs, I would suggest you jump on, look into that, because that is part of your assignment this week. Or your assignment this week is to create a HyperDoc and other supplemental readings on those also. For discussion for the week, you're looking at usefulness of preferred learning styles. Reminder to put your response in early, as soon as you can during the week. By Sunday, we ask that, and that gives a few for others to go back in and put their additional replies to the posts. So readings are there, discussions, fairly simple week as far as that goes. Assignment, I think this is a really fun assignment that you can do this week. Create a HyperDoc. Once you get your HyperDoc, you can actually sign up with your students. When you do that, you need to get a reflection of the process of how that works. So in your assignment, don't just submit the link to your HyperDoc, but also submit your reflection on how that went with your students. If not something that you're going to use now, find a colleague to review your HyperDoc and then reflect on that feedback. So you need both those parts. Send the link to your HyperDoc and then give your reflection on the process or the feedback. There are examples of HyperDocs on the Canvas course. On the bottom of this slide, there's a couple fun ones right there. The Chocolate Touch, that's using a slide deck, going through a review of the book, The Chocolate Touch, and there's some videos they have linked in there and different fun interactive activities they have. A folder full of HyperDocs and templates. Feel free to take that, make a copy of it. There are templates for HyperDocs for pretty much any subject in that folder. And find something, you need an idea for a unit or a subject you're looking at, just search Hyper template for third grade social studies or something, and you find stuff out there all over the place. But some good examples right there on HyperDocs. So it's pretty fun. The HyperDocs are fun to do. So questions on the assignments, what's required of you this week, as far as your discussion and your HyperDoc creation? All right, that's no questions there. We'll jump into our element presentations. We have 3 presentations today. Element number 20. I tell to a student we had in class who's no longer in the class who signed up for it. So if anyone wants to take on that element for next week for a little learning how to help guys knowledge and teaching us, that'd be great to do. 3 presentations today. A reminder to everybody, after you present your element, make sure you go back into Canvas, and for that assignment, under our presentation, just type in the date you did it, or say, hey, we did the presentation, or limitation or something, so we know that you did presentation, so we can give you credit for that. So reminder for that. So let me unshare my screen here. And who would like to go first on that? Kim yet? I don't Kim, so let's go with Ian and Robin, element 18. I know they're ready to go, excited.
Yeah, here. Yes. Okay, where do there we go. Share screen. Right. See what we see with the slide?
Yep, we got it.
Okay, our element 18, working on helping students examine errors in reasoning. The first note in that part, in that chapter, when students explicitly be taught how to identify and resolve errors in reasoning by Robert Marzano and John Brown. And Kaylee do resource, so the explicitly part is really important, I think. Okay, so I'm going to talk about faulty logic and attack, and Kayleen's going to do weak reference or misinformation. So fault, there was a whole bunch of sections. There's contradiction, accident, false, begging the question, evading the issue, arguing from ignorance, composition, and division. All of those are just different ways that a student can look at an article and make a faulty logic. And some of the technology that they suggested that we use is using interactive software to such as the Prezi and the Google Slides and PowerPoint. Like what we're using, you can present some faulty logics and then have discussion discussions with the class. Archive and share examples or errors by using social bookmarking. Some tools were, I'm not sure how to say that word, delicious. You have to look into those, but you just bookmark what you do, and then you can go back to it. You can also use online collaboration tools such as Google Drive, and then have the students discuss what projects they're seeing, and then the teachers can use the polling data to discuss reasoning errors. The second reasoning was attack. So this picture of the shrimps talking, if you can't see it, it says, "Can we let shrimps like this run our great country?" And they're both shrimp, so he's attacking the other shrimp. Anyway, so you have to talk to the kids and explicitly explain to them what does it mean to poison the well, arguing against the person, or appeal to force. Phonology that they suggested was have the students record their thoughts, marking a source, and then you use a recording device such as Audacity. The education also, I think you can use that if you wanted to just record your voice, and maybe if you have that app, you can write on it as well. You can video record your thoughts and share with your peers. Teachers can use open forums to post the questions to help the students analyze their materials and sources. And students can discuss the nature of error by using the discussion boards. We have Canvas, so that would be an appropriate use of technology on that one.
Okay, it's weak reference, and it refers to sources that reflect bias or sources that lack credibility, an authority, an appeal to people, or appeal to emotion. In other words, it's right because the president said so, or it's because all of the people voted for it, or it's right, I'm going to cry if you don't agree with me. So a weak reference can be found in political debates, televised interviews, commercials, advertisements, newspaper articles, and blog posts. So the students can identify the weak reference in a teacher-chosen material that the teacher presents them, or they can find their own examples and present on slides or videos or etc. They can also create their own examples and then post them to see if their classmates or someone else are fooled by what their references are. They can find errors in someone's posts and bring it to his or her attention. One is misinformation, and confusing the facts or misapplying a concept or generalization, such as dogs are smarter than cats. To use technology to teach about the misinformation. The examples of misinformation can be found in news reports, charts and graphs, advertisements. I have math. I teach math, so I thought, well, the information was more geared towards language. It seemed like I looked into the math or the graphs and the charts, how they're used, and they are used probably to misinform a bit. The students can use the internet to find charts or graphs, use news or advertisement, and then they can find graphs that are omitting the access, or they stretch out to make the data appear more significant than it is. When there's really probably 2 points difference, they can stretch it and make it look like it's really big. And watch for data has been specifically picked to show certain parts, year, months, like they could say, oh, well, we'll just show February from this year, and we'll show March from this year, and we'll show April different year, and it made it look like they wanted it to look. And the graph is appropriate for the data. So in other words, are they using a pie chart where they should have used a bar graph or that type of a thing? So now and about reason, what was it? Back. Helping students examine errors in reasoning.
Any questions for these two? Issues, so.
Yes,
we did.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate that.
You still not see us?
No, just your big B and your voice.
That on purpose.
We have all this, so it's good.
How do I share my screen?
Go to the quick start tab on left.
Oh. blocking it? How do I don't know how to view it in this.
Use it like this. Okay, you can see that.
Yep, we still got it.
Okay, so ours is element 19, helping students practice skills, strategies, and processes. And I got lucky because we get to hang out in a secret classroom, just me and my wife. So the first one is close monitoring. I actually experienced with this today, but this occurs directly after the teacher presents new content to the class. I think sometimes with technology, we make the mistake of thinking our kids know better than we do, or our students know better than we do. And introduced EduCreations to about half of my class. The other has already used it, but I made the mistake of figuring that they could use the animations and the things that I wanted them to do, and found out later when they turned it in that I should have more directly. And so I think often that mistake, but we should make sure that they know what we want. Highly structured environment. Teacher observes, corrects students' actions before they come ingrained. I give that as in a long way. It's harder than heck to fix it later on. And so I think if we just take the time, make sure that they get it right the first time, it gives us a lot of headache on with technology, because you can the wrong way easily. And when structured practice, actually I chose to do this one instead of letting my wife do it, because for a chemistry class, this is something that's absolutely necessary. So students are given multiple chances to solve problems. Teacher can develop processes in parts, experience success several times during the structured practice, and that's the one that I really found important, especially in my setting, because if a student is attempting to learn something new, whether it be with technology or not, if they don't experience success, the simple concepts will be more difficult. And especially in a chemistry class, I always use the word baby steps, because if you do steps and jump right into the complex things, then front sets in, and often the sort of things later on can't be accomplished. And so I like that part of the frequent structured practice. I like to start simple and build and build and build, rather than start complex and straight to students. So.
All right. So going to the beginning, students practice skills and strategies and processes. So as I was thinking about these 4 different things that we've been talking about, go back. I'm an elementary teacher, but to the I do, we do, you do. So this is clearly after the I do as a teacher. So both the things that Digger talked about would be in the we do, and really among those students. But then to the varied practice. And there the teacher, this is where the teacher becomes less structured. And so you're giving your students a little bit more complex things, and I think of it as the learning pit with the metacognitive strategy. They learned everything now, and now instead of spoon-feeding them that information, we are going to let them discover on their own. They begin to monitor their own processes and their own thinking, and some different tools that listed in here. The only one I'm really familiar with is EduCreations, but I listed them all there. And the use of audio or video. So having the students use these different things, they can vary their practice. I do have just a little video showing someone using EduCreations for a varied practice. So I'm going to just play that really. So this is a second grade student.
Taylor had 36 pugs. She wanted to give an equal amount of pugs to 9 friends. How many pugs could she give to her friends? Each friend 4 pugs. 30 divided by 9 equals 4.
I know that story problems are hard for younger kids, but by having them practice those skills, and now she was clearly able to take something and explain her thinking. And this young girl, it was through drawing pictures, and then she came up with her problem, but all through technology. And so I thought that was kind of fun. During your practice, just gives them a little bit harder things to do. This one is fluency practice. Once they're at doing these different skills or strategies, we need to make sure that they're practicing them fluently. And it was really funny. One of my meetings, our technical coach introduced to us a new fluency for reading program called Fluent, and it fit really well within this with this piece. But it is independent practice. They can do it on their own, and they've already experienced success in simple to complex situations. So this is after they've gone through the close monitoring and the structured practice, and now the practice. This is where we can actually start tracking some of their growth. So these are just 2 examples of how they can start tracking their fluency. And I put the Fluency Tutor app works really well for tracking fluency. What I liked about it is it kind of covered every single part of this. The kids, you pick the passage that they read, they record it, and if they don't know some of the words, they can click on different things. So there's a dictionary there to look up new words. So it's not spoon feeding them what it means, how to pronounce different words. And I think that an app that follows all of these different things. So that's all we have.
Nice.
I do have a question. Brooke, what was the link on the very practice? It said less structure, and then you had a little green link, and I couldn't see it.
On the very, I don't think that was a link. On the varied practice?
Yeah, there was a little green.
Oh, that was to the metacognitive video, the learning pit. I know that you've seen that before because I think I've shown it to you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
The presentation is linked in the slide deck, which is on Canvas already. So go to their element 19 and click on it to take you to their presentation if you need to find that. So awesome, thank you. Kim, are you here yet? No, Kim. She did send me her presentation. It is a slide deck also. So I'll try to get her to come next week to do that. I'm not sure where she is today, but she did send that to me. So you go in and review that slide deck that she sent. That's great. My screen here. All right. Thank you for presentations. Remember to go back in and to put that your presentations. So the slide here, some links that you may or may not ever use, but there are some good links here, things just that you may find useful to you. The one is a link to subscribe to the USET newsletter. We'll send out a newsletter, and in the newsletter it is a interactive PDF usually with links and articles about different technology apps and programs and resources that goes along in what we're doing in our classes of integrating technology to learning. So if you subscribe to that, there's the link there to the subscription for the USET newsletter. You can view the example from January. February one I didn't put on there. I don't know why. I just did grab the January link. But a resource for you. If it's during the element presentations, as the two presenters talked today, or the two presentations talk, they mentioned different technology tools. As your tools to your technology project or don't know where to go, the text is loaded with technology tools that they use, like Jing, the screenshot, screen capture, Jing, which that's what I use a lot of times. It's an easy screen capture tool. Students can use that as part of your project. So go look at the element presentations to find ideas for your technology project if you need some ideas. Or the USET newsletter is great also with some additional technology resources. The website, there's all the past newsletters links. You can go back and view those also. I'm going to plug for Clint volunteering at USET conference. If you're head up to USET next month, state conference to B2, also able to volunteer if you would like to do that. Should be a fun volunteering. I'll be volunteering Wednesday night, setting up the vendor booth. So if you want to come hang out with me Wednesday night in Salt Lake at the vendor booth set up, I'll be up there doing that, and Clint will be there also there. Now, and the other two links here are big ideas for technology integration, just a simple read for how you can integrate technology better. And then I got the email today about doing animated motion slides within Google Slides. It'll walk you through how to create a motion slide, having a move and hold up stuff and do things. It's pretty cool. Just to look at something kind of fun and free time that you have. And have a great week. Any questions or any concerns that I can answer for you, or make up an answer at least, if not?
So you said that we need to mark what day we did a thing. What assignment was that we marked?
Oh, it was, I can find it really quick. It's presentations. It's called seminar presentations. It'd be, I found it tab. I don't know what week it's listed in off the top of my head. It might be on week 11. But our presentation, element from text. Let me use it on week 11. But yeah, just go in there, jump in, but did it. Okay, but yeah, you can find the assignment tab. Make sure you. Any other questions? Yeah. Well, thank you for being here today. We kept it under 30 minutes, which is pretty good. So, have a fabulous week. Don't be if you have any concerns or questions, give me a shout out. If you email me to automatic reply on vacationing, but drop me a line if you need anything. So thank you. Have a great week. Enjoy summer / winter / spring, whatever it is at the time. So. Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see ya.